Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jared.
And you guys ready to hear my story this week?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Come on. we need to be excited for this. I mean, I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Jared sounds pumped.
Oh yeah, I'm always excited. I'm just the most excitable person. And fully erect.
Well, that's good to hear.
In your
And
heart.
everyone else listening is going to want to be fully erect and at attention for this story, because this is going to have some lore and some funny moments, hopefully.
How many goofs and yucks did you put in this thing?
I put exactly 14 goofs per second in it.
Yeah.
I'll hold you to that.
Correct equation for comedy.
As long as one of them is a goofy
count.
goof.
All right, go for it. You guys at home, get out your tally sheets and your tally whackers
and your goofometers.
This story is called Zendo.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that could possibly mean. It sounds like another language.
Yeah.
Nova leaned in close to Iggy and whispered, "Ask him if he knows where Ari went." Iggy covered his phone with one hand and snapped at Nova.
Shut up,
It's the
bitch.
whole reason I'm It's the whole reason I'm calling. I'm on hold, so chill. With a click, Iggy's call finally connected. "Hello, you've reached the completely normal cab company. May I ask who dares to call upon us?" "Yeah, hi, it's Iggy88. I just wanted to ask. Sorry, wait. Hold on." Iggy could hear the sound of many muffled voices in the background. Iggy was getting a little impatient. He and Nova had finally made it back to the City of Dark on the New Australia, intending to meet up with Ari. When they finally got there, all they found was Captain Turnip crying and clinging to his mother as she comforted him. Turnip had watched as his men were killed by Goofy, fainted, and then been crying since he woke up. Somehow, between sobs, Turnip managed to explain that Ari, Mitch, and Rupert had taken off in a taxi. So Iggy and Nova decided to call the League of Extraordinary Assassins, who sometimes pose as cab drivers, to see if they could be pointed in the direction of their friends. Iggy had been on hold for 18 minutes, and between that and dealing with Turnip's shit and Nova's shit, he figured that was just too much shit to deal with. And a normal human reaction would be to give up and just start slapping people. That's what anyone would do. Any normal person. But Iggy isn't a normal person. So he had waited patiently for someone to take his call. "Are you going to put me on hold again?" Iggy asked the alien on the other end. "No, sorry, I have a fat hog on my lips."
Excuse me?
Sorry, what? Sorry, what? With a click, suddenly Iggy was on hold again. "Did they say where Ari was?" Nova asked. "Space gosh darn it, Nova. No, I'm still on hold. What the heck?" Iggy wondered if he should just give up and call back later, but he'd been on the phone so long at this point that it would feel like a waste of time to give up. And then he'd be more mad at himself for giving up than at the League for ignoring his call. Finally, another voice answered Iggy's call. "Hello, and thank you for your patience. You've reached the League of Extraordinary Assassins who sometimes pose as cab drivers. How can I help you?" "Look, before I get to what I actually wanted to talk about," Iggy began, "can you tell me why the other guy I talked to said he had a fat hog on his lips before putting me on hold?" "Oh, did mein brother put you on hold?" "Yes, and he said he had a fat hog on his lips." "Impossible. He wouldn't do such a thing on company time. We are space orcs, and we take great pride in our work ethic." "Space orcs who speak common?" "What?" "Well," Iggy said, "it's just occurred to me that there may have been some kind of misunderstanding, maybe Fat hog on my lips is some kind of mistranslation from a Space Orkese saying or something. Do you usually say that in your language? No, that is disgusting that you would even suggest such a thing. Makes me... no, wait. Und fat hog und obese porcine animal. Yes, I can see now how that would be said. It means he is busy to talk. Okay, thanks. I wasn't going to be able to get that image out of my head until I made some sense of it. The two then had a laugh over the misunderstanding. Anyway, did you guys send an assassin to the New Australia recently? Oh yeah, we sent Jalix Jones to assassinate intern Rupert of Sperm Mars. Ah, that's too bad. I like him. Can you tell me where they are now? After attaining the coordinates of the assassin's cab, Iggy and Nova refueled the Rat Scallions Are Second-Class Citizens 1.
Oh god.
Nova hopped in the passenger seat. Okay, systems are a go, Iggy said as he flipped some switches and turned some dials. Fuel check. Spare fuel for return check. Hyperdrive coordinates set. Calculating pathing. Compensating to maintain 100 yards from any public school systems while en route. Nova's eyes flashed briefly with panic upon hearing that last bit. But then she went back to skimming through space TikTok on her space phone. And we're good. Let's fucking go, Nova slurred without actually looking up from her phone. Meanwhile, Eri was fighting space god Zendo. And winning. Hold still, damn you, Zendo said as he aimed a fireball spell at Eri. Unfortunately for him, Eri was too nimble, running all over the giant wizard's body, slashing his space saber. Oh, maybe Dad was right. Maybe I should have focused more on destruction magic than enchanting. Eri landed on the wizard's giant belt buckle, looked up at the wizard and grinned broadly. Zendo conjured another fireball and aimed, but then reconsidered. Oh, ho, you think I'll fall for that? Zendo balked. Eri then raised his space saber and slashed at the wizard's junk. Ah, you little shit! With Zendo's member nearly dismembered, he became increasingly scared. Eri, let's work something out. I can let you use my all-seeing orb sometime. We could watch it together. I mean, I'm into that, but if you're not, you can borrow it. You can have some privacy. Eri's response was to dig his saber into the wizard's thigh. Blood spilled from the wound like from a faucet. All wizards must die, Eri screamed. Oh, come on, Zendo moaned. We don't even have a reason to fight. I could just let you go. With Zendo's godlike size, each of Eri's slashes individually meant little more than a paper cut. However, as the number of cuts grew, he realized that he could actually bleed to death. As the wizard became more and more bloodied, however, it became increasingly difficult for Eri to maintain his grip on the wizard's blood-slicked robes. Sensing his opportunity, Zendo began flailing his arm, hoping the warrior might lose his balance and fall into the void. Instead, Eri plunged his space saber into the wizard's arm, using the blade like a mountain climber's peg to keep from falling. Afraid of falling, eh? Well, if you kill me, you'll still fall with me. I have to stop you now, Eri snarled. To protect the universe. I promise I'll stop making more fingered. Do you also promise to stop making any more half-elf babies? That wasn't my fault. You made that up. I can't even do anything about your mixed heritage. Then I can't do anything but kill you now. As Eri again leapt at the terrified wizard's face, a yellow space taxi pulled up to where Eri was on Zendo's body. Eri jumped off Zendo and onto the roof of the cab. Nova rolled down the window and stuck her head out. Eri, what are you doing? You fighting God? That's kind of hot. He's no god, Eri growled. He's a damn wizard. He's been fingering people and making half-breed kids all over the universe. Half of that is true, m'lady, Zendo interrupted shyly. He'd never spoken to an actual woman before, and he really wished he had his wizard's fedora to tip gentlemanly to her. A wizard's fedora looks like a regular fedora, but it has star-shaped fabric patches sewn into it. Oh yeah? So it's your fault we had to deal with all this E-death and goofy shit, huh? Nova asked/said because it wasn't really a question. Well, I meant no inconvenience to one as hot as you, m'lady. I mean, I don't know, I was just messing around. Finger me, Nova slurred suddenly.
Oh god.
I couldn't, Zendo nearly choked. I wouldn't even know how. You too much of a loser. What's the matter? Finger me, you bitch. Somehow, Zendo still had enough blood in his body for some of it to make his dick swell. I gotta go back to my dimension. I think, I have to report my findings to the College of Wizards. He lied while covering his crotch with both hands, which actually just brought more attention to his ill-timed erection. As Zendo attempted to flee back to his own dimension, Ares shouted, "Come back here! I'm not done with you yet!" "No!" Zendo shouted back. "You two are impossible to deal with! My only weaknesses are physically strong and sex-positive people. Fuck you!" After putting some distance between himself and the adventurers, Zendo used his magic to open a black shimmering portal back to his original dimension of magic and wizardry, and passed through. The portal remained open even after the wizard had disappeared. "Follow him!" Ares screamed with frightening bloodlust as he stomped his boot on the cab roof. He whipped his hand around and clenched his teeth as he activated the buster cannon in his artificial arm. "Okie doke," Iggy agreed. "No, wait!" Nova interrupted. "Go! We don't know how long that portal will stay open." "What if we can't come back?" "What if he gets away? What if no one cuts him in half starting from the crotch and working their way up his torso until he stops screaming? What then?"
Oh god.
"Then nothing. It's over." "It's not over," Ares said, not actually looking at Nova, his attention fixed on the portal like a dog staring at a door who thought she heard an easily murderable old lady with the audacity to walk past her house.
Sounds specific.
Slightly. "Fine, Ares, you can go. But Iggy and I are staying here." "Huh?" Ares said, finally breaking his gaze from the portal. "I waited for you for 5 years, Nova confessed. "I ran away from my arranged marriage/murder attempt. I basically declared war on Spartine just to get you back. But if you want to go dimension hopping, killing wizards, then I guess I can't stop you." "I do want to go dimension hopping, killing wizards," Harry began. "But also, I think it would be okay to spend some more time with you." "That's great," Nova cheered. "Plus, I tend to get carried away pretty easily, so who knows how long I would even want to keep up the whole wizard-killing business. So, I'm sure if I stuck with you, I'd find something to do." "Right?" "But," Aerie began as the portal that Zendo had escaped through vanished. And... I couldn't be more happy." "Yeah, me too." "But..." "Aerie, the portal's closed." "Yeah..." "So let's drop the wizard killing thing and just say you decided to stay for me?" "Okay." Nova helped Aerie off the roof of the cab and into the back seat of the car. They could see Iggy smiling broadly into his rear view. "The fuck you smiling about?" "I was just thinking about how nice it is when things work out," Iggy said. "I guess, but it's not funny or exciting." I think there's something really wrong with you if you can't just be happy when things work out. There was indeed something very wrong with Airy. Somehow he had gotten away with being an asshole his whole life, and yet had been rewarded with praise and surrounded by friends. But he would continue being an asshole and getting away with it for the rest of his days, because even late in life he was still very good looking. After Cuck and Perdue's defeat on the Galactic Society of Friends, the interns eventually tried to return to the space station. However, upon arriving, they found that the Frost Giants, formerly known as the Frost Giant Slaves, had completely taken over the society and declared it their new home planet. Barred entry, the interns decided to hold one last vote in the parking area before disbanding the society. Rupert the Pervert moved to have his nickname changed, but this was denied. Speaking of Rupert the Pervert, he returned to the planet Sperm Mars and was reinstated as president. Unfortunately, he passed away later that same day at his inaugural orgy/funeral.
Oh, God.
None mourned him, but many were jealous. Speaking of interns, the intern from New Earth 2, Jonathan Garfield, returned home to a surprising scandal. Jonathan had run on the Fuck Rockmen platform, an interesting and cutting-edge brand of spacism that not many had thought of before, since rockmen were generally pretty chill. But rockman spacism quickly grew in popularity among humans itching for something to hate besides themselves.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Having run on Fuck Rockmen, Jonathan had a difficult time explaining to his constituents why a half-rockman former pirate was claiming to be his bastard child. Jonathan didn't even try to deny fathering that son, for one look at Alabaster's chiseled jaw told him that Alabaster was indeed his son. Jonathan was ousted from politics due to the scandal, but he actually reunited with Alabaster's mother, Obsidian Gabbro, back on Hard Stuff and Prime, and the two tried to make it work. Alabaster as well gave up piracy, and then became a porn star, which was pretty exploitative, to be honest, and just reinforced his father's former supporters' beliefs about rockmen. But work is work, so neither of his parents disapproved of his choice. Besides, who cares what spacists think? They're wrong anyway, so fuck them.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Speaking of pirates, the Purple Pirates had another shakeup in leadership. When Mitch the Hammer returned from his battle against Professor Goofy, he found his Captain Turnip being bullied for peeing his pants. Mitch offered to switch places with Turnip, who gladly accepted his new position as Master Shipwright of the New Australia. Captain Mitch the Hammer went on to lead the Purple Pirates in a new kind of piracy. With Raven by his side as vice captain, the two of them created a new vision for the crew that was a life of adventure and treasure hunting, where they didn't attack random ships or planets, and actually helped people in need they met during their adventures. The Purple Pirates all learned the meaning of friendship, and somehow made money doing this. Speaking of former captains of the Purple Pirates, Vin, the new concubine king of Spartine, gave up his plans for universal destruction because he was happy just being with Queen Zephos. The two of them were too busy making out all the time to do any invading. And speaking of being too busy fucking to work, Ragfucker made a full recovery after being stabbed by Airy. He was found bleeding in the street by the high priestess of the religion of light and dark. She and her servant Ragmaker had just come off an opium bender and decided they were properly traumatized enough to return to the City of Light. Hoping to get a jump start on their redemption and a return to feeling a sense of self-worth, they decided to take Ragfucker with them. After being mended back to good health, it was Ragfucker who informed them that the rest of the planet Zen had already been destroyed, and the City of Light was no more. Professor Goofy had told Ragfucker all about how God wasn't real, and was actually a scientist from another dimension. And Ragfucker then passed that information on to the High Priestess. This information was wrong because Space God was actually a wizard, but being obviously wrong never stopped religious people from putting it in a book and believing it.
So true.
Ragfucker eventually became a high-ranking priest of the reorganized church. Speaking of the reorganized church, it was disbanded after one of their high-ranking priests was accused of heinous sex crimes against rags. Speaking of changing subjects, because no one wants to talk about that anymore, Perdue also survived the final fight with Nova and Iggy. He still had his powers, but Iggy had told him that he'd already lost his powers, so he never tried using alchemy again. Perdue and his brother Dave returned to Jurgle 9, where they led a revolutionary army of little Nathies against the Fraternity of Princes. It didn't work, but the princes became so annoyed that they agreed to consider allowing little Nathies to vote in future elections.
That seems like a mistake.
They lied.
Okay.
Yeah. Aerie and Nova went back to Minerman Industries, where Nova introduced Aerie to her dad. Nova had Aerie wear a shirt for this occasion, and it went so well that Eustace D. Minerman offered Aerie his daughter's hand in marriage. Aerie told Eustace that was a weird offer because it was, quote, not giving her any agency.
What a gentleman.
Eustace was so impressed with Aerie's vocabulary that he instead offered him a job as vice president of Minerman Industries, which Aerie accepted.
What an articulate young man.
Yeah.
So articulate.
With a man finally close enough to power in the company, Eustace decided to step down as president and passed the position down to his daughter Nova. Nova immediately fired Aerie as vice president, but created a new position for him called Concubine King, which Aerie liked much more and kept him very busy. Nova instead offered the position of vice president to Iggy, but Iggy turned it down because he had made a solemn promise to Coach during his final moments. Before passing, Coach had used FGSL to flex sign a message to Iggy. He said, "You must lead them." Iggy returned to the Galactic Society of Friends and became king of the Frost Giants. Iggy used the Galactic Society of Friends' giant war crime laser to destroy the black hole in the center of the universe, thus allowing the universe to expand once again. Some say this was Iggy's plan all along. Some people say those people are giving Iggy way too much credit. But those people say you shouldn't underestimate Iggy, so who knows? And anyway, that's about all that happened in the universe of unlimited possibilities. The end.
Nice.
Ooh, oh, I see why it's called The End.
Yeah, because there was a wizard called Zendo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I couldn't think of a better title.
It's a fine wizardly name.
Yeah. That about wraps up the Aerie and his friends try to tell people that they beat E-Death back in episode 5 arc.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that ties up all the loose ends.
Yeah, in a paragraph each, which honestly went on pretty long. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the movies where at the end they show you, and where are they now? Like for the Titanic.
Like Titanic?
Yeah, there's only really one where are they now, and it's
the corpse at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
That really ties everything back up.
Yep, yeah. It's good when just all your characters can either die or have their things done by the end.
Yeah.
I really like how you got rid of Zendo.
Yeah.
Really funny.
I really like how in my stories, Nova actually was the one to beat like every single one of the fingered.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's the only one with any respectable amount of sense. So
Yeah.
Ares like, I'm just gonna kill him with a sword. And then Nova's like, you can just embarrass him to make him leave.
Yeah.
Speed running.
And yet she's still stuck with Aerie, even though he was definitely gonna chase after the wizard.
See that?
He got him to stick around long enough so that he lost his chance.
Yeah.
She trapped him.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
No.
That was. She also definitely kidnapped him off his planet to begin with.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
I love all these characters, and you know, I would like to keep writing them forever, but I would also like to be able to just write jokes. So I figured I wanted to end this story at some point.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point with my story too. Like, I just kind of tired of the characters a little bit. I still like them, but I just want to write something else. So
yeah,
I get it.
Y'all have been writing these dudes for like how many years now?
Quite a few, with a big break in the middle.
Yeah, we took some time off there after a few episodes, but I think we started this like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. This is the
but we really only got into it once you joined, Adam.
Yeah.
Like, once you joined, we actually started writing one story every 3 weeks and
consistency,
recording regularly. Yeah.
I'm glad I could force you to do something.
Yeah.
But this is the culmination of X number of years, and that is nothing to sneeze at. It is bittersweet.
It is. And I kept a surprising number of characters alive, and that was also just for you, Adam.
Thank you, because I have a very strong belief that death is not really funny. So.
Yeah. You want to?
I have a very scared feeling about Jared's story, though.
Well, just now, I've been feeling like that forever. Jared's story is dripping with existential dread.
Yeah.
So.
And bread.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I tried to wrap up just about every character. Maybe I'll cut this after asking, but were there any characters or anything left that you guys wanted to see resolved?
Oh, Ares' wife and the Yowies.
Oh,
I had forgotten about those.
You want to see that resolved?
I don't need to, but I think it'd be, a funny one-off.
Okay. I would like to see what happens with I didn't write a one paragraph ending for Meteoria 7 and their troubles with invaders and whatnot. Okay, yeah, I might like to write about Ares' wife sometime.
Oh, wait a minute, does that mean that Ares living in sin?
Yeah. Ex-wife, we'll just say ex-wife. They don't okay, canon on Meteoria 7, they don't have a system in place for divorce. You just separate and that's
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way it should be.
It would be a lot easier, and it's going to happen eventually. Why should there be a legal system in place to keep people together who don't want to be together?
It's for the kids. So the kids can
but
watch
it applies to people without kids, too.
Yeah, all right. Separate laws for parents with kids. Not allowed to divorce. Work it out.
Now, people with kids are lesser people, so
They are, in fact. Take that, child rearing demographics.
It's because their soul's been split into small pieces when they had the baby, and it just got shot out in the baby. Now they're just a walking.
People ask me why I don't have kids all the time. I want to start saying that. That's awesome.
Well, wait until my next story, because that's actually part of the fiction.
Oh, God.
Joking.
All right. Well, then maybe my next story will be about Ares' ex-wife. But thank you guys
Yeah.
for listening to this story about Eri and Nova and Iggy88. When I think about it, I think Iggy's my favorite character. So thank you for listening to this story about Iggy. And I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. It was great to listen.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you next time.
Oh, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, whatever. Okay.